of the United States, out of the 40 some odd, that have been elected, only 2 presidents who are honored by calling them honest Abe and, George Washington, I cannot tell a lie. That means that virtually every other president we assume was not honest. Otherwise, we wouldn't honor only 2 of them for being honest. We understand that dishonesty is often the key to electability. Now, if politicians tell lies, there's a way of responding. You tell the truth. It was Adlai Stevenson who once said, if you stop lying about me, I promise I'll stop telling the truth about you. He was a clever guy. In any event, lies. We hear it on all sides, from all politicians, from all parties. And the idea that you make lies a crime when they're not under oath, when they're part of a political campaign or a campaign to remain in office, just stretches the Constitution beyond belief, and stretches and shrinks the First Amendment, to nothingness, because the First Amendment is designed to protect falsehoods. Look, I was a law clerk, excuse me, in 1963, 1964, in the Supreme Court. And we had a case, you've all heard of it, New York Times versus Sullivan. I was one of the law clerks who assisted on that case.
Everybody's here?
In that case, the Supreme Court held that newspapers
Let's turn
have a right
Dershowitz off.
They have a right to be wrong as long as they don't do it with express malice.
Let's turn Dershowitz, the most
Smith is going to have to prove
seemingly honest, but then self-serving provocateur out there. But anyway, you're too stupid for this, Rick? Well, you don't have to comment then. You can just listen. Burn Tom. Guten morning. Good call on Dershowitz. Yeah. He's just honest enough. So I have to see. I'm either the stupidest, greediest, savviest, smartest, cluelessest, or stubbornest. But I just bought some calls on finger because my attitude is they're driving it down. They seem to have endless ability to sell. I'd much rather be selling for a profit than buying, but sometimes you have to take what's given to you. So that's kind of what I did. And we'll see what happens, All right. Who's that? I think that's that Texas actor. All right. Okay. All right. Matthew McConaughey. All right. Okay, good day, everyone. You got the most beautiful Oriental rug, 500 more finger. Let's see if that Persian rug is the one that makes your house a home. I think in for a penny, in for a pound. What I've found in investing throughout my life is when your stomach is saying, oh God, I don't want to, that's usually the time to do it. Because otherwise your brain is going, hey, it's running, and you're overpaying. So right when you know all the facts, you know what might happen, you know there's a buyer in there for the last 5 or 6 weeks. We can see it in the charts. And I don't know. Sometimes you just got to take a deep breath and jump into the deep end of the pool. Nobody ever came home and said, I wished I bought a smaller color TV. How's that for logic? Who's selling finger? Alex? I assume it's your friends, the criminals. I assume you've got a network of people who, from Germany and elsewhere, can just hit a sell button and sell non-existent shares. And Gary Gensler doesn't care. He's a deflector. He's a gaslighter. He distracts. He's a distractor. And he doesn't care if you do it, Alex. But I think what you're going to find is as the Department of Justice, as the IRS, as Congress gets involved, Alex, I would be worried about one thing if I were you. Prison. RICO. Racketeering Influencer Corruption Act. Or some organization, something like that. RICO. That's what you're guilty of, Alex. And they'll find you. They'll find you. When a prime broker comes down, when Goldman Sachs is shaken to its core, they're going to blame you, Alex, not themselves. So you can be smug. You can be happy. You can ask a completely FUD question. Who's selling? But enjoy your freedoms while they last. All right, we've got just a few minutes before Oh, all right, Alex. All right. So it was a legitimate question. My answer to you, Alex, is the sellers ain't you, ain't me, ain't anybody I know. So the sellers are a continual flood of non-existent shares. But to my eyes, this is 282,000 today. I bet if I had to guess, 250,000 is just fraudulent sales. Maybe there's 10 or 20 or 30,000 that people are selling for whatever reason. Their dog told them to get out of the trade. But this is all fraud. And it's in Gary Gensler's SEC, all fraud all the time. Come on down. The price is right. If you have an account in Germany, open it up. Open up the sluices as Helicopter Ben and Janet Yellen flood the markets with trillions of dollars of U.S. taxpayer money. Bail out Goldman Sachs. Come on down. Start selling shares that don't exist. Goldman Sachs will make its profits, and Gary Gensler will focus on the rather voluptuous rear end of West's last wife. I forget her name. Kim Kardashian. My thoughts on MMAT are that it's a brilliant. This one technology they have could be revolutionary about batteries. I have some serious doubts about the viability of the electric vehicle, which is not green and is not free of massive consumption of hydrocarbons. I tend to think that there's going to be a solution in the energy area after disruptions that the government can't figure out. And I'm not sure it's going to be electric vehicles. I think the solution is going to be live in cities, use trains to get between Washington and Baltimore and Philadelphia. In the cities, walk around, and then have short haul cars and short haul trucks. I think the trucking industry will reduce to having trucks go to a train depot and then maybe 100-mile radius. So I think the solution is going to be different than EV. That's number one. Number two, what MMAT needs to do is focus on one product that gets such a massive amount of contracts and revenue that it shivers me timbers to the shorts. But unfortunately, I think MMAT has taken one too many toxic note deal, and the shorts are in control, and they're destroying the company. You can have the best story in the world. It's still a story. And when you need money for development, the criminals have destroyed your ability to raise money, and they do it with Gary Gensler's blessing. Gary Gensler wants to go after new worlds to regulate. He can't even regulate his own rear end. All right, so we've got 5 minutes to go. Well, if you live 35 minutes to the nearest grocery store, I mean, I think you have to, I don't have any of it, but I would have water. Number one, I'd have water, and I would go order some of that food online, and I'd have propane, I'd have a burner, and I'd have a first aid kit. Rural's going to be difficult. Living rural is going to be difficult in the sense that if gasoline prices go to $25, $35 a gallon, it's going to be hard for policemen to come out. Sheriff's departments are going to run out of gasoline budgets. It's going to be interesting. I don't know the answer. I mean, on the other hand, but living in the rural areas is safer than living downtown when people get upset and rampage. We don't know. We have to leave some of that in God's hands. Right now, let's just focus on getting you some money so you can buy a brand new refrigerator, freezer, and storage shelves for your garage. All right, 3 minutes. June Masood. You're welcome, June. Thank you for sharing. I think there's going to be major dislocations in the future, and some things are pretty obvious. But that's why I think you need to live near water in terms of harbors, boats, and near trains in your future decisions of where you want to live. Luckily, the United States does have some rail built, but we're not like Europe, and we're not even like China. We're squandering our money bombing deserts and assaulting mountains, and now we're taking on the Russian bear. But it's time to put our resources to create a life that's safe for all of us, of all colors, all religions, all beliefs and non-beliefs, all sexes. dogs and cats, horses and cows. I think my guess is, Gary, that, and it's just a guess, this is computer selling. But remember, the computers are entered into by people. They enter the orders, the instructions. But I think this is all just computerized. I don't think this is. I do think there's buying by humans, and somebody's buying. And I think the criminals are sorely disappointed that they are unable to get this down. Anyone know? Thank you, Smokey. Anyone know why GTII is not moving now? It's been under attack by short sellers for 3 years. They sell stock that doesn't exist. There's 400 million shares naked. Alpine's in trouble. There's margin difficulties. I wonder who's selling. Why is it not going up right now? Every time they put out news, there's more selling. Every time they don't put out news, they're selling. I wonder. Sometimes I don't know if questions are serious. All right, get ready to rock and roll.
Hey, Bill, you ready?
You ready to rock and roll? You got a primed audience, and thank you very much for doing this.
Hold on. Hey, everybody. Again, this is not to buy or sell. This is educational about security fraud, naked short selling, number one. I just want to let you know that some of the people I knew in Wolf have been selling, and they're buying GTII. They're starting to add to that again. Okay. Again, these guys are accumulators, and they just, they made a couple of bucks on one other name and just moving money around. I don't control them. They just tell me what they were doing. So just give you a heads up on that. Finger motion. Let's go straight to the well here. You got to remember, as a trader, you look for signs. There's no more selling. They may manipulate 100 shares back and forth, but these guys are not our friends. And every time the stock went up, they punished us to drive it lower. And the same pattern you saw in Tupperware yesterday, they took it up, it was squeezed, and they trashed it back down. And they write the negative story, always comes right out after that. They try to stop the upside momentum so they can clean up some of these fails to deliver that they laid into the system. In Finger Motion and in GTII, these guys are out of gas on both sides. I don't care what you say. They, if they had the juice, they kill it. Again, they can't let it go up because they can't meet the margin calls. For the dopes who thinks there's no margin in these equity trades, that's what's holding these guys back. They have no more money to keep playing the game. They keep trying to. They're just trying to stop the momentum, is what I say. They know now by selling it lower that there's a big buyer around. Obviously, you can see it. They know it. We all know it. We're just waiting for what's going to break someone's back here. Obviously, the push is not going to be pushed down anymore. The push is going up. I told you yesterday, if you just change the symbol and make the symbol Tesla, the patterns, the chart patterns that everyone talks about, the no selling, the option buying, it's all positive. So again, if the regulators just made a phone call and these guys stop selling, which I believe you're seeing, they're not going to ring everybody's bell and tell you, hey, we were warned and we can't sell anymore. You have to understand that trading formation, it's right in front of you. If you can't see it, this is very different from the attack down from $7 down to $4 2 weeks ago. Again, the stock is levitating around $6, $5.70, $6, whatever it is. These guys can't keep knocking it down. They know the market makers whoever's handling a big order is relaying into the shorts. There's a big buyer around. They have some sort of information, and they know the hammer's coming. That's all. That's what the stock is telling me. Then we always look for a sign from the gods. I think it was the chairman of Jeffries just sold like $24 million worth of stock in Jeffries. All right, that filing is on the tape. I believe it was, I can't remember the guy's name. All right, so again, with Goldman's problems, listen, if Jeffries can see the problem with Lynn and knows that they're going to take a hit, he's allowed to sell. Why not? So he can do whatever he likes. So again, I'm not a real big believer in insider selling. Again, we're just this is sort of like twisting it to make it sound positive. But again, I don't know why this guy's sold, but $24 million, he just dumped it the other day. It seems very timely to what we've been fighting. Maybe he knows something more than we do. I'm an insider buy guy, not an insider sell guy, but it's just strange that this popped up and we've been following, and I've been tracking Jeffries, and to see a big sell, that's pretty interesting stuff. Again, I'm more of an insider buy guy, not an insider sell. Insiders get stock to sell. That's what their position is. That's what they do with it. It's not wallpaper. It's only wallpaper to the companies that are being naked shorted. They're never allowed to sell. But Bill, do you have any questions?
Just one question. Do you think the selling in finger is done by an algorithm, or is it a human being entering the fake shares?
I think this is a trading desk. This is more hands-on than anything else.
Okay.
I think in a Tupperware, when you get to trading a gazillion shares, 150 million shares a day, or 50 million, I think that's more computer generated than what you're seeing here.
But you would think most of this is counterfeit shares that's selling.
Oh no! Listen, we post the data every day. It's 100% counterfeit shares.
Yep.
There is zero selling in finger motion and GTI. Zero. You can give me 2%, 3% of the volume, maybe. Somebody flipping it or someone getting out. To me, that's zero. And once the shorts stop selling, and just like Ned Stark's put up, once they take their foot off the landmine, that's when it explodes. Because if they stop selling, the stock will just rise a little bit, and then it creates a margin call, and they're dead. That's the problem. Which is seeing now the 200 shares. It's a guy trading saying, okay, offer it lower, scare them. We only have 200 we can play with. Yeah, okay, just put it down there. What's the big deal? All right, but when it turns here, the next run through 6, and everyone's telling me 651, all these crazy numbers, and the thing's going to make new highs back up to 17 and go from there. I agree. I just don't know what the catalyst is that's going to drive it. But the option players, I put up there, option money, people who buy options are the best players in the game. Finger Motion's got 30,000 open interest on the call side. All right? In there, someone's got a good feeling about what's going on because it's all the front month. All right? I'm a believer in the front month anyway, but I put up everyone who ever gets busted by the SEC for insider trading, 9 out of 10 times they bought options. Options are giving you the time when this is going to happen. Last month, the stock went from 2 to 7. The shorts beat it back down. There was a great play for the option players, right?
Yeah.
Now the option players are ponying it up again. So obviously, whatever's going on, everyone thinks it's showtime now. The charts are telling you it's showtime. Everybody's yapping it's showtime. Again, they're not going to ring your bell and tell you it's showtime. We believe the short is north of 163 million. Add in the real short. Add in the short that they shorted against the options. Who knows how many calls they shorted. Again, there's a lot of things here that are going against these guys. And, moving 100 shares around to try to scare you out, that ain't cutting it anymore. They're just wasting their breath. That's how I see it. Did you have any other thing?
Yeah, just to explore your point about the 30,000 calls, do you think that can cause a gamma squeeze, which you might describe that as well?
Well, as the stock goes up, I'm a firm believer in that if I bought the 5s and the stock starts running, I sell the 5s, I buy the 8s, I move to the 10s, you just keep moving up. And I keep playing for free. The more, you remember, whoever you're buying the calls from has to hedge themselves. So unless it's a long trying to hedge his position against options, which I don't believe most people do anymore, that's mostly done in Apple and, hedging for, retirement. So I think anyone who's buying calls, someone has to hedge themselves because we're betting it's going up. So the seller of the call, okay, he hedges by buying the stock. Okay, because if the stock goes up past that point, let's say you buy the 7s at 50 cents. If the stock goes past 7.50, he is now short. All right, that's his break even. So no one's going to be short 3 million shares of stock without being hedged somehow. So what they do is they have to go out and buy the stock as the stock goes up. And people roll to different options, new option people come in, it just keeps creating that squeeze. If you look at it, they created the perfect storm. In Kodak, for example, Kodak has options. I'm just going to hit it up and read it to you. Kodak has the 2.5s, the 5s, the 7.5s, and the 10s. Finger Motion has every dollar has options. See the difference?
Yeah.
It's tough to create that big squeeze in a Kodak when the options have got a 2.5 point spread. Who wants to go out there and buy the 10s when the stock is barely $5? If the stock was 6, you can have the 6s, the 7s, the 8s. It's a little different. So whoever created the options in Finger Motion has given us the opportunity for a major squeeze.
Could two questions on the S1 for Finger. Could the SEC stop the withdrawal? But that's a serious question. And then why did they wait this long to withdraw the registration statement? And do you think the timing means anything on that S1?
I think the timing is everything. It's obviously done for a reason. Everyone's always concerned when a small company like a GNS, Gary, Nancy, Sam, right? They had a short squeeze going on, and Roger was, doing the fight. He's been fighting hard, and all of a sudden he settled with everybody. When there's no registration statement, there's no shares, there's nothing. It's all locked up. So no matter what's happening, no one can call the company up and they can say, "We'll sell you shares." They can't. It's impossible. There's no registration statement. That's why timing is everything in this case. And they could have done it before, but they felt it was time to squash it. They did it now. So maybe the company's got a good feeling about it. Maybe the company's been getting a call from a short seller looking to buy stock. You ever think of that?
Yep.
And the way they said, "Hey, get lost, we're not," and they keep calling and say, "Hey, we just canceled our registration statement. Don't even bother calling us back."
Love it.
To me, that makes more sense. To me, that's something that could have happened.
So the pimps stopped calling the shark
all
stop.
these savvies and the Lint partners, they all call up and say, "Hey, we're good people. We'll give you $10 million right now for stock." They always give that big number.
And we'll do it above market.
Oh, we'll do it any way you like. Just get us some stock so we can cover. That's what they want to do.
And your
second part of that question, do I think the SEC will stop the cancellation? Absolutely not.
Yeah. Okay. How does a buy-in get triggered when there's no volume?
Well, they'll pick the stock up until they find the volume. That's how it works. At some level, everyone on this phone is going to sell stock, right? So they come looking for you. That's how it's met.
just as an interest story, do you have any thoughts on Yellow Trucking?
It's in the same pattern as everything else. It seems like every time someone seems like going out of business, right, the stocks pop up, right?
Right.
The shorts obviously trying to cover. I know nothing about the company. They're going out of, they're filing for bankruptcy, whatever it is. But it seems like Tupperware up from the grave, Rite Aid up from the grave, right? All these stocks. All of a sudden now you got Yellow Freight. I can't remember. I think it was Hertz who was close to going out, and their stock ran a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Avis or Hertz? I can't remember. I've always told you that at GameStop, why wouldn't anybody cover at 3 3/4, right? Why did they press their bets down there? Well, you're seeing in other names, I believe the shorts in these other names who helped destroy these companies are turning and covering. And I think that's the sign you're seeing.
Well, you used to describe that they didn't want closing transactions.
Well, no, I'm just saying, but by staying all the way to zero, all right, that always worked. Now the world knows that these guys need to close out their positions, and all of a sudden these stocks have a couple of days of life. Tupperware's gone from 60 cents up to $5, and now it's all over the place, and they're trying to put it back to sleep. New shorts are coming, shorts are covering, new shorts are coming in, taking advantage of the spike, and who knows what's going to happen at the end. But that's how those things play out. So if you find anything that's in the trash, like a yellow, why not take a shot on it? I agree with you on that.
Yeah. Would you sell your finger stock and buy calls?
Would I sell finger stock and buy calls? You're talking to an option junkie. I won't tell you that. I'm insane with options. If you sat down with me and read my mind and how I trade options, you would faint. So I'd rather not. I'm not going to bring you over the fence on that option poll. I'm very dangerous with options. Let's change. Let's make it sound a different way. Not very dangerous, super dangerous.
Have you heard of Armistice Capital? They're another toxic lender.
They changed so many names. They're unregistered toxic lenders. If anyone has a company that's invested, that they invested in, and sees the toxic lender, the name, call up Mark Bazile. Okay, he'll get him the company get the company to speak with him. He'll go after them as unregistered toxic lenders, and he'll shut them down. The companies have to call him up. It's a clear way to stop these guys and make them fold.
I'm going to try to translate this question because I think I know what he means. If there's pressure on the shorts right now in finger, they're above the squeeze point. It doesn't seem like they're buying.
Well, look at it this way. It's above the squeeze trigger. Are they selling?
Well, he also points that out. They're not selling. Everyone's...
It's in a... We proved, okay, every time we spike it, or the stock spikes, they attack, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you go sideways to a slow move up, which would you like better, the spike and the attack, or the slow move step by step up a penny, up a nickel, up a quarter? It builds a better chart pattern. The volatility is removed from the stock. Most people on this phone wet their pants when they have volatility. Professionals love volatility, all right, because we buy when people are panicking. The shorts love to create volatility so that everybody on this phone will wet their pants. They are being squeezed here nice and slow because the volatility is gone. It's been gone for a few days now. The slow march up is the best pattern you can get. William buys the stock. He tells his sister, "What'd you pay for it? 566. Where is it offered? 566, 567, 568. Everyone gets a chance to buy the stock. If I was the short seller, I wouldn't even offer one share at 566. I'd be offering stock at $8. The market in the stock would be 560 bid to $8 offer, and you would sit there and say, if you got a call to buy it, you would sit there and say, I can't buy the stock. It's offered at $3 higher. And that's how you get longs not to buy the stock, is make the spread real wide. But as we can see, the shorts cannot make that spread real wide, because if it trades at 8, they have a tremendous margin call. That's why they keep the gap so close. They're closed, excuse me. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
They cannot spread it out. Spreading it out like they're doing now, it's 566, 566 to 566, 66, excuse me. You have a 10-cent spread. So if I was buying it now, I would buy 1,000 at 566, and I would bid 560 or 558 for 1,000. If I was going to do half and half, I'd do half and half. And that's the best way to leg into a trade. Tiptoe in is to buy half and half. That's the way to do it.
One hamster wants to know, which movie are you seeing at AMC? Barbie?
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. I am a destroyer of worlds, or something like that.
I'm bringing my blanket and my pillow, taking a nap.
What are your chart guys saying? Anything?
If one more chart guy tells me they're all foaming at the mouth, that's all I can tell you. I'm not a chart guy. I always find it impossible to chart fraud. But this is slowly, I can see this slowly turning into a chart play. I think that 651 is a couple people told me about. I could see that being some stupid number, but again, I think it's going to grind up there slowly. Obviously, there's something coming out. The shorts know it. The market makers know about it. And I think some of the longs have been buying calls know about it. So it just looks like everyone's got this gut feeling that something's happening. I don't know what it is, but I have listen, the company fundamentals, the biggest market in the world, is enough for me to not panic about it. I haven't panicked, and I'm not panicking. Volatility, that doesn't mean anything to me. They try to scare people out. They do. I can't stop that. They trying to stop the fast money from coming into the stock.
Right.
That's all they're trying to do.
They want people to get out quickly if it starts going to, a relief sale.
Well, I think that people understand it. Again, my opinion on it, take it with a grain of salt. This is my opinion. You do not get life-changing trades every day. You just don't get them. If you got them, give them to me, because I don't know about them.
So on that point, people are bringing up a lot of other stocks, like GNS, I guess, is up today. Would you just focus on one of these for now, rather than spreading your efforts and hopping from?
You know what? I studied. You can't. I'm not Fidelity Management. I don't have zillions of dollars to go all over the place. I like to follow what I studied and understand. I have no idea what GNS is doing. I lost track of him. He made a lot of noise. The stock popped. And then there was a settlement of some sort with a short seller. And that's when the stock collapsed. So, again, I don't know what happened, what he did. Again, if you don't understand everything about what you're investing in, then if you don't understand it, then spread your shit all over the place and knock yourself out. Hopefully you hit one. But when you understand what you're doing, why would I go jump in other people's shit that I know nothing about? I can't do it.
Yeah. One point, just me, I looked at the chart. I know it doesn't matter what I think, But 650 is the downward trend line that it could break out through. So whatever.
650 is a downward trend
Well,
line.
if you draw a triangle, it's a breakout level, 650. So
Again, charts, these guys can make charts look up, look down. It's just the same nonsense. Listen, the stock is telling me that they know there's a big buyer around. There's people buying calls because there's something coming out. People understand. They can see something's cooking here. Maybe it's from the regulatory side. You know, all we need is one person who's got an inkling of what's going on with Savvy or the FBI with the Kramers, or Lynn Partners has been served, or that fund that with the frog on it, whatever that guy's name is, the Anson Fund is ratting on people. Something is going on. It's very different. You can see the squeezes and crazy names all of a sudden. Something's going on the short side where the SEC is putting pressure on the clearinghouses. Something's going on.
This is so why isn't it showing up yet in Finger?
Why isn't it showing up?
Yeah.
Because they know you're an impatient person and you're looking to trade it in a second. Listen, this is not the I'll call it the crack stock. This is not the crackhead stock. All right, this is for patience. All right, I know the old joke. That's why we're not doctors. We have no patience. I got it. No one is more impatient than me. Trust me. I used to own stocks for 3 minutes. Now I'm in it for 3 years. A little different. But I decided that I'm going to make more money staying put 50,000. I lose 20, then I lose 10. I'm saying, wait a second, I'm in the same spot. I'm only up 5,000 now. That's chasing many different things. Staying put and following the information and everything that I understand about this and the opportunity that the naked shorts have presented. Again, this company has survived, raised the money, the business is exploding. There's nothing the shorts can do to hurt this thing anymore. So they're going to get run over, whether it's today or tomorrow, it's coming. Right? You can't be short 163 million shares of stock. Like I said to you yesterday, if you don't believe it, take off 100 million. Take off 100 million out of the 163. If you think we're crazy. 63 million. Take off another 13 million. Make it 50 million. Let's make it 10 million shares they're short. We traded 300,000 shares. If they stop selling, how are they going to cover 10 million shares of this stock? And if you think you say 10 million, okay, that's fair. All right, 10 million, go buy it back. Your stock will be 30. Imagine if we're on the nose and it's 163 million. Think about that. And that, to me, makes it life-changing.
Well, the other thing that's life-changing, I think, with Finger, after years of implementing their plan, China has come out of its lockdown, and there's 4 or 5 avenues for revenues and profits this year. But I'll leave that.
Listen, this is a company. Just watch the CEO. Do your own legwork. Understand it. Just think about it. If you got the idea that NVIDIA was selling those AI chips and you understood it, you were cold, you understood it inside and out. NVIDIA went from what, 280 to 470
Mm-hmm.
on the new AI chip. Not their old business, on the new AI chip.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I'm looking at Finger Motion and I'm saying, okay, this small company has got China wrapped up. How? Why? I don't know. But you know what? These guys got big inroads to China, and it's the biggest market in the world. And you know what? Something? It could go today, go tomorrow, but you know what? What's the panic and the rush to sell it? I don't see it. The revenue, everything's growing. But yet, someone keeps trying to hold it down, and that would be Lynn Partners. All roads, everything points to Lynn. So they're going to get run over. No one thought that GameStop was ever going to go to the moon. All right? You sit there and say, oh, it's never going to go. It's never going to go. I reported it was going to go. because the proof and the data showed me that it was going to happen. That's how you have to have conviction in what you do. Do your homework. I can't do all your homework for you. Listen, I was the worst student in high school and college. The worst. Everyone did their homework for me. But in the stock market, if you don't do your homework, you don't make any money. That's how it works. That's how it looked to me. But in high school and college, I was the biggest cheat in creation.
Well,
I hope none of my high school teachers and college teachers are on the phone.
at least you have that journalist thinking you're a pretty sharp cookie. I forget her name right now.
Gretchen Morgensen.
Gretchen Morgensen. She thinks
She said
you're
I'm
smart.
no dummy. A Pulitzer Prize told me she knows. She said I'm no dummy. She should only know I am a dummy.
So, one guy's asking, which options would you buy on Finger right now?
Listen, I'm an option junkie, and I look at the front month because of the premium. If the stock is not going to work, it's not going to work next month. I don't believe in that. To me, everything's showing. I can buy I'll go for example, you can buy the 5s for next month at $1.80, so you're paying 50 cents more premium. I'll look at the 9s, they're 50 cents. I don't know, what are the 9s? 9s are 50 cents, off of 50 versus 90. If it's not going to work now, I can buy the same 90-cent option, both of them combined, at the third end up when August expires.
Right.
So if I could buy the 8s at 55 cents or the 9s at 45 cents. Again, remember, if the stock is going to break, it's breaking big. Yeah. That's how I look at it. I'm not here for a stock. If you're looking for a stock to go up at $1, go trade Tesla. You can get dollars every day in the stock. Every 10 minutes, it's up and down. But you won't get it here. This is a move that we're looking for that's going to change. This thing can gap, in my opinion, it can go $6.50, whatever that number is you're talking about, and it could be $60 in a second.
Yeah, I agree.
That's up 50 something dollars. There's not many stocks that are going to jump from $6 to $50. And I really strongly believe that this will have that opportunity.
And of course, you recommend people don't turn this into a losing trade by taking money off the table.
Well, if you have an option, for example, if I bought I'll just put the option page back up here for a second. Let's say I bought the 5s at 75 cents. They're 110, 1 1/4. If I sold them at 1 1/4, I turn around and I buy the 8s at 65 cents or whatever. I take my profit, roll it into there, and have a free option trade. That's the way to play it. But that means if it's free, if it doesn't happen in August, I can do the same opportunity in September. And that's how you play it, so you catch it right.
Gotcha. Well, you've run out of questions from my end. A lot of gratitude, though.
On this end.
There's a lot of gratitude.
Well, listen, there's no gratitude. Listen, I'm just trying to give you an advantage that the shorts have had over everyone on this call. They've been pissing on everybody for years. And I'm grateful that everyone that's on this call and the people like William and all these other people like Dozer and Ace and all these, and Optimuse, I can't remember, Ned Starks, and, I can give credit to Chris and everyone, Anna, everyone. That you educated other people on it, and this cement bag on my back has been removed because everyone seems to understand it. Now we're just fine-tuning it, and I hope it goes in 30 seconds for you. My wife just bought me my Wendy's lunch, my lunch. So, again, I hope it goes in 30 seconds for you. And now once you get that big win under your belt and you understand the knowledge, think how you reverse it on these thugs. These thugs thrive on people having no knowledge of how they operated. We put stories up there. The Economist tells you that the SEC, everybody knows. The cover of Forbes of 1988, everybody knows that these guys have been looting. All right? The jerks that write stories that naked shorts don't exist, they're just fronts for the shorts or a hedge fund that's in trouble. All right? If it's not a problem, why is it so hard to get a dividend approved by the SEC? Because they know we can expose them with dividends. right? They know we're smart enough to catch these guys. All right? They're happy that the court systems are piling up with naked short cases. All right? Takes the heat off the SEC to enforce it. They're basically saying, go get them yourself. All right? But again, it comes down to enforcement at the end. And I do believe that Lynn, I do believe the Kramers, Alpine, these guys are all going to be busted. Yorkville, they just can't keep making 50%. Everybody's losing. Goldman Sachs is losing money now. And you're telling me Yorkville, Lynn, who lend money to companies, every one of their companies gets destroyed, and yet they're profitable. How's that possible? Think about that. If Warren Buffett gave $10 million to a company, and the company goes from $5 to a quarter, as far as I look at it, Warren Buffett lost $10 million. Yet these guys are making returns to 40% on their money, and the stock prices go down. That's because they're shorting against the debenture, their stocks collapse, then they buy it in a conversion at the lowest price. That's what they're doing. Congratulations. A monkey could do that trade.
And
that's what you're dealing
and
with.
the SEC seems to do very little about it. I heard Gretchen Morgensen is now following Pedro Philly. I'm just kidding you. He's also I think he's quite good on helping people
he
understand.
Comes from the same I read his profile. He comes from the same background as I did.
Exactly.
An institutional guy. He never dabbled in this shit. I never bought a penny stock. I used to hear guys saying, I bought 10 million shares of the stock at a penny. If it goes up, I'll make $10 million. And I just scratched my head and says, that's impossible. You know, I never heard anybody even make the $10 million when they played those games. But I never did, so I stayed away from it. And I'm sure he never did either. But Figure Motion, the siren is going off that this thing is ready to explode. I can't tell you which second. The small offers are there just trying to torture you. That's not computer generated. That is that's a human being moving those markets right now.
Well, I hope it happens while you're watching Oppenheimer.
And then I have offers out there. I put GTC offers out there, and I go enjoy my day. You can't. I'm not going to sit here and babysit Lynn Partners and their group of thugs from offshore that are manipulating a market. That's the SEC's job. There's a big buyer around. He's been around. Everyone can see it. I can't see it, but I'm telling you, they know it's here. They're testing it. They're trying to get people to sell it, to unwind, to hit him, but everybody knows there's a big buyer around. They're standing there. You know, the only thing he doesn't have is a big flag on his head, a flare going off. God, here he is. Every time they knock it down, they suck it all up. Sideways is the best action ever. They know they can't keep selling it down because they don't get any money. I've always told you that. And that's about it. Other than that, just you place your bets and you make your decisions, and the trend is your friend. You know, people, what can I tell you? That's what it is. I can use all the cliches in the world. Do your homework. I just posted the proof from Tom Ronk. It's 163 million plus now. Every day we went up, right? Every day I posted it.
Yep.
You know, and that this company flip-flopped with GTII, and now this is the leader. And when this goes, then it's GTII. That's it. There's nothing I can say. Once we get over the hill, remember, everybody wants to do their history lesson. That little round top, if the South got around the Union Army on the end, the flank, they could have walked behind and killed all the soldiers and won the battle, and won the war. But they defended it, and it changed history. Finger Motion gets around, is Lynn. Think the Army moving as one, from one short stock to the next. Just think of it. This is life changing. We don't need the SEC. We'll destroy them ourselves. And they know, everyone knows it. That's it. Education. I don't care if you buy the stock. Understand it. Retweet. Do whatever you can. Because if we don't stop them, As you can see, the SEC hasn't stopped them. We have to do it. So it's up to us.
One shareholder points out that Lind or whoever it is entirely underwater on everything they sold. So,
Well, listen, they deserve to be in jail for life. This is $1 billion crime. At $6 times what? I said 163 million shares. What is it, about $900 million right now?
yeah.
It's $1 billion crime. The criminals are right here. They're standing in the middle of the bank with no face protection on, waving their arms. Where are the police? At least bank robbers have the decency to run away. These guys are standing here. That tells you that they're doing it from offshore. Because there's no one that would stand there and do this.
That's pretty good.
Right?
That's pretty good.
They're standing there in the bank vault. The cameras are on them. And no one's saying anything but us. They belong in jail for life. When this runs, every dollar up, they're losing $163 million. Every dollar up.
So what is it every $10?
This is going to knock them and destroy Jeffries, which they deserve it.
It's $1 billion every $7 or $8.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a lot of quid.
That's a lot of quid, and Jeffries will take a beating for it. They deserve it. They allow it to go on. They give these guys leverage because they use them as, they keep their money there. They're power brokers, blah, 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 blah. Payback's a bitch now. Go look at Credit Suisse. That'll teach you. You want to help the crooks? Then you sleep with them also. Good luck. What did they say?
Sleep
You
with
lie
the fishes.
dogs, you get fleas, right?
Luca Brazzi sleeps with the fishes.
Right. Well, they said, you lie with dogs, you get fleas. There you go. So
That's
Jeffries
it.
wants them. Good luck.
So you kind of align this with the VW squeeze in your mind. So can Finger go over 1,000?
Yes. That's my Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs has an opinion on stocks, so do I. There's 163 million shares short. You get out whatever you like. And I'll get out whatever I like also. It's my, everyone's got their own family and their own thing. This has potential. Just do the math. 163 million shares to cover. I think the whole float is 35 million in this whole company. How are they going to cover it? Good luck. You don't think everyone on Wall Street's going to front run this thing? Good Lord. Once it starts, they'll all be running in front of it. Every hedge fund I know will go out there and buy 500,000 shares at 15 to sell it at 30. And then they'll buy it again at 50 to sell it at 80. And they'll buy it at 80 to sell it at 200. That's how it works. And they will all do the same thing. You want the big money to come later? Listen, this sideways action is great. What's the big deal? So today, right now at 12:56 is not our day yet. Maybe at 2 o'clock it is. Maybe at 2:30 it is.
Our day will come.
Our day will come. Everything they sell, what is it? He who sells what is it his'n must buy it back or go to prison, right?
Right.
I give you all the cliches. It's bail before jail, so you better not fail. Any other ones?
We're just here to play baseball. Oh no, that's a different one. We just put our bat on the ball and see what happens.
Listen, you do, please, if you're invested, don't listen to us two kooks. It's pretty easy. The data's out there. Do you work on Lind Partners? They're the toxic loan guy. What's their business plan? They lent SY, Sam Yellow, Tom Apple, $10 million at $10. The stock is 5 cents. I don't know about you, but
why can Gary Gensler even sleep at night? Because that's not just one example. Lind Partners and Kramer's, they've destroyed dozens of companies.
It's right in front of you. Everyone can see it.
Except for them.
This is what I've done personally. I told every friend, every relative, everyone I know to own 100 shares of Finger Motion. That's what I tell my friends. Because if what I believe is going to happen happens, if I told you to do that in GameStop, you know how many people did not listen to me? If I told 300 people, I'll say only 15 even bothered to even buy a share. And I told hundreds of people in GameStop, hundreds. I posted it. I actually did a report on it. No one did a report, just on the shorts. I don't care about the company, what they do. Just on the short position. I gave you the data, how to find it, everything about it. I sent emails to hundreds, and 15 people bought it. When you work on a trading desk and you get an idea, I would hit my 50 hedge funds that I covered and the big institutions and let them all know. Because if I didn't tell them and it works, they would call me back, and if they found out that I had the call or I had the information or I had the idea, they would scold me. Why didn't you tell me? Let me make that decision whether I'm going to buy it. So now I go out of my way and I tell everybody. But that's the way I was trained. I tell you, if you decide to buy it, that's your call. If I was a broker and you paid me a commission for the idea, that's on my back then. Because you're only as good as your last trade when you're a broker. Right? I call you up. If I give you 5 clunkers in a row, you're not giving me an order, that's for sure. Right? So my job is I had to be good at what I did. And I'm sure Pete from Philly, Pedro from Philly did the same thing.
Yep.
And that's how you operate. That's Wall Street. You get an idea, you go to your clients, you run it past them. I never had a retail account. I never did retail trading for anybody. I wouldn't even know how to open an account. All right, I only did delivery versus payment accounts.
Mm-hmm.
So again, but I told everyone when I had an idea. If I heard a rumor that Heinz was going to buy Campbell's soup or whatever it was at the time, or Philip Morris was buying Campbell's soup, or somebody's buying E.F. Hutton, or whatever it was, I went out on it. And whenever I heard the story, and I believed it and I liked it, I would go out on it. And if I was right, I got rewarded. If I was wrong, I got destroyed. That's how it worked. And this is why I believe Finger Motion, and I do believe GTI will follow suit. I think once Finger Motion breaks 10, going to whatever, I think GTI will be $3 to $5 then. If Finger Motion breaks 20, going its way to 30, I think Jeffries is going to take a beating on the downside. Would Jeffries' downfall bring other brokerage firms down? Yeah, maybe there's a broker index you can look at.
Can GTII go to 1,000?
Can GTII? GTI is so... The difference between GTI and everything else is that everyone is so educated on it. I mean, the conversations I have, it's like the people know more than me. I mean, it's just amazing. And everybody's here. And that is a stock that when it starts to jump, will bring in, because it'll be a more heavily traded stock than Finger Motion. People can get in easily and get out more easily. And I think that'll bring a lot more hedge funds into it. I think that when Finger Motion breaks, it's going to have an HKD moment where it's going to be up 50, and be up 20, and be up 30, and people can't buy it. Unless hedge funds fill in on the short side, you won't be able to buy Finger Motion. And GTII, I think there's going to be plenty of opportunities for hedge funds to come in and buy it. And, because people are flipping it, it'll be a more heavier trader. So, again, I think Finger Motion will be impossible to buy once it starts. Impossible. It's just going to gap by meaning that it's going to jump up 10, up 20, up 50. That type of gap is what I see in Finger Motion.
When did they stop fighting it? I mean, at 6, 10, 15, 21?
Oh, obviously it's around 7. That's when they attacked us. They're
right.
trying to hold it below 6 now for whatever crazy reason is, they keep coming back and offering 300 shares, 200 shares. What are they doing? I don't know. If I was on the other side of this trade and they kept telling me to hold it down, selling 200 or 300 shares, I would tell the guy, listen, take a walk. This is over with. I would go in the other room and stop buying and get long.
Good
But
point.
I think the people that do this stuff are so hard-headed that they think they never lose.
Someone's asking about the buys are in the dark pool in Finger. I don't agree with that, but maybe you can comment on if they're
The
buying.
data shows it. Look at the data. I put it up every day. Look at the data posted by Doza. Okay? He puts it up at 5:30 yesterday. And look at the data we got from Tom Rock. There's a difference of 200,000 shares. There's your dark pool.
Yeah, it's.
They can dark pool all they want. But they can't, listen, when you're putting dirt under a carpet, pretty soon it's going to have a big lump in it, right? So this is what you're seeing now. They can't hide it.
Well, even if they do dark pool, the trades have to be recorded.
That's what Tom Rock gets you, the dark pool recording. There you go. I post it up every day.
Do you know anything about Revco? There's a guy here telling me to tell you he knew some principals there when they got raided. Management fled like rats off a ship.
I put up the Refco story all the time.
Yeah.
They were hiding, fails to deliver. They shut it, sealed it, and that was the end of that. That's what they're going to do with MMTLP. If anyone knows anything about Refco, they're going to seal it, just like they're going to pay off everybody in MMTLP. They're going to seal it. Everyone's going to get paid. You got to sign some sort of agreement. You're not going to talk about it. And that will make that go away. Everybody will get their money back. That's what they're doing with Credit Suisse, right? We're going to seal it for 50 years. Think about that fraud.
They were the second gunman in Dallas.
Well, that's that. As long as you understand it. Again, all the signs are there. The brokers, the prime brokers, they're all exposed. And like I said, think ahead. If finger motion starts breaking through 20, start looking at Jeffrey's puts. Give yourself 3 months on that. I went through the front month. Credit Suisse, it was the delayed reaction. Everyone said, oh, Credit Suisse is in trouble. Took a couple of months, then they got destroyed. So I would buy time on that one instead of buying the front months, because we don't know when they're going to collapse or when they're going to come forward and say we took this beating. But again, when finger motion breaks, you can look at puts and Jeffries. I told you my friends, my people I know, we're buying GTII. That's what I'm doing. That's, if it doesn't work, I believe it will, but that's for us to do.
Yeah.
You make your own decisions. Go play Tupperware, go do whatever you like to do. That's your job. I can't help you with that.
Yeah.
We only talk about what we can see here. That's it.
Well, I've run out of questions.
Well, I'm going to go catch the 2:15. I'm going to the movies. I'll take my nap. Have a great day. I hope it explodes for you. And put your good till cancel orders in if you go out. And that's it. Go relax. They got nowhere to go. They're dead. It's just a matter of when they're going to get carried out. My gut feeling, I think today we see 7. That's my opinion.
Well,
That's my opinion. I don't know, that token will get me on the subway, as they say. But if they're not attacking it, they're not doing it for a reason. Somebody's holding them back. Either they know news is coming, someone's holding them back. They've got served. Someone in their organization is getting caught, and they know about it. Something's going on. Whether regulators are here, the Department of Justice is here, something has changed the game. Because this isn't the same look we had the other day when we were 720 and they attacked it to 4. Right? This is completely a look of something major is happening. And that's it. That's all I can say.
It's going to be like the atomic bomb that you're going to go watch.
That's what I'm going to go see. Hopefully they'll have. I'm going to look up. It's going to have GTII and FNGR stamped on the side of it.
I am the destroyer of worlds.
All right, listen. Have a great day.
All right.
And we'll speak tomorrow.
Thank you, Ham. Bye. All right, everybody. I'm going to sign off. It's called Roth Capital. Maybe they are doing a valuation. You should, Yabba Rumba, you should realize what a treat is for, what a valuable thing it is for Ham to be talking directly to you. For me, as a guy on Wall Street, I would have paid money to talk to and get the trading ideas of Ham. So he's giving it out for free. I do second his observation that Pedro, Philly Pedro on Twitter, it's the same kind of analysis, same kind of thoughtful sharing of experience, and I would take advantage of all that. I'm not talking, people have a lot of stocks scrolling. I really believe that at least for this call, maybe later, maybe tomorrow, but at least for this call, I think we need to focus on Finger. Not because it's the only stock out there, not because other stocks we've talked about are not excellent, but the momentum, the pressure, the charts, everything is signaling that Finger, the heat is on. It's on the street. And I just think you've got to, my mother used to tell me in life, if you're a generalist, you go nowhere. Look at a generalist like J-Lo hits a new low. She's a generalist, but one life opened up. Look at the Kardashians. Their father became a lawyer, made it. They hit the front pages. They're billionaires. You got to focus on one thing, and then you can focus on everything. So we'll see what happens. I just feel like Finger is going to happen now. But I haven't eaten either. It's 1:11. That's a lucky number. So I'm going to call it short here and wish everyone the best. Peace, love, and happiness. And I'll catch you on the flip side. If there's action, we'll come on today. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.